What is up everyone? So after my last video using Ogerpon on the grass team, I kind of wanted to see how she fared on other monotypes that she's viable on. So that could be rock or fire or water. Now I don't expect the water one to be that good personally, but I've seen a lot of buzz about the Hearthflame Ogerpon, so I wanted to see how she fit onto a fire team. Now personally, I think fire is not a great type. I think it's one of the lower end of the tier list this generation. However, I think Ogerpon in theory makes a big difference, and in practice she was very strong and kind of exactly what I think fire needed to be good. So without another way, let's jump right into the team. And first off, we have Infernape. Now I'm not typically the biggest Infernape user on Mono Fire, however, it did get a pretty big buff in the DLC with access to Switcheroo. So Switcheroo is essentially a trick. It changes my item for their item, so I can actually force my Choice Scarf onto an opposing wall. Something like Toxapex or maybe even something like Ferrothorn. Now, Ferrothorn isn't a big issue for my team typically, but you can trick a Choice Scarf onto a wall and it kind of absolutely destroys them. So if something like Toxapex or even Slowbro or Slowking are better examples, if they're forced with a Choice Scarf onto them, they really cannot stall my team out as much as they want to do, which is super good for me. As well as that, Infernape is just pretty good speed support. It has a nice base 108 speed, and with Choice Scarf, it does outspeed key things like Choice Scarf and Nihilego, which is very good because otherwise that thing just absolutely 6-0s my team, and I can KO it back with a Choice Scarf Earthquake. Now the rest of our move pool, I have Close Combat, so it's quite powerful, and it is Stab thanks to being Fighting type, 120 base, and we don't particularly care about the special defense and defense lowering because we want Infernape to outspeed things and KO them before they can hit me back, realistically speaking. And lastly, we have Thunder Punch. Now Thunder Punch is kind of a weird one. You can run other things, but I personally like it combined with Iron Fist to catch things like Pelipper off guard, or other water or flying types off guard like Mantine is quite nice too. Those things can give my team a lot of struggle, and a lot of the time they don't expect the Thunder Punch to come out, or in fact me to be faster than a +1 after like maybe a Gyarados after a Dragon Dance. Now it's a fairly niche thing that could happen, but it does happen. It's happened to me in testing, and the Choice Scarf Thunder Punch outspeeds and KOs, which is really good because otherwise my team goes down to it. Now unfortunately, Infernape is not strong enough to KO Cleaver in one hit guaranteed, which is kind of unfortunate because Cleaver with Stone Axe can pretty much just 6 on my team, unless I get up some screens on Rotom or I manage to set up some speed on Volcarona or Charizard. So do be careful of that, and it's unfortunate that Close Combat is not Iron Fist boosted, but we don't have any fire attacks, so there is no reason to use Blaze. I forgot to mention my stat wise, I'm max attack, max speed, Jolly Nature. You need Jolly Nature, so make sure you do not go Adamant or something because you won't outspeed Nihilego, and that's going to absolutely destroy your team, so make sure you are Jolly. Unfortunately, it's only like mediocre strength at 307 attack. It's not great, but it is what it is. Next up, we have the kind of Keymon today. The one I'm actually looking forward to using the most is Ogerpon-Hearthflame. Now, Ogerpon-Hearthflame is pretty solid. It is Grass Fire, which is a weird typing, but not necessarily a bad typing. It takes neutrality from water and ground, which is very good because obviously there are two types that the fire type struggles a lot with. But where it really comes to shine is its ability Mold Breaker. So Mold Breaker as is a fantastic ability. However, on fire, I'd argue it's one of the best types to have it on. Thick Fat does not care. What else do we have? Flash Fire does not care. Heat Proof does not care. Sturdy does not care. Disguise does not care. Even things like Sap Sipper, if you're running Hornage, does not care. And I think most importantly, and what was Fire's one of the biggest downfalls, I think in the early in the generation, was the plethora of new unaware Pokemon. Well, the great thing is Ogerpon-Hearthflame does not care about unaware. She can hit through unaware Pokemon with Swords Dance, which means you can KO things like Clodsire, Skeledirge, other unaware Pokemon that might be giving you trouble. Ogerpon-Hearthflame is your best friend for that. So unfortunately, it can't hold an item because it's holding the Hearthflame Mask, which allows it to become Hearthflame type, the Fire Grass type. However, it does also give you a 1.2 times power boost to all your attacks. So it's kind of like a slightly diluted Life Orb, which is still really fantastic because it gives us the fire typing as well. So moveset wise, we have Hornage for longevity, and because it's quite a nice grass stab, it hits water types, rock types, ground types super effectively and lets this thing live quite long. We have Ivy Cudgel, which looks like it's a 100 base grass move, but it changes depending on your mask. So I do have the Hearthflame mask, so it is a 100 base fire physical move with high critical ratio that does not make contact, so it is insane. It's very, very strong. So 120 base before stab, which is amazing. It does not make contact, and high critical hit ratio can absolutely obliterate a lot of unaware Pokemon, especially ones that want to try set up like stockpiles or like curses in your face. It can easily crit through those. Next up we have Play Rough for the Dragon types in the tier mainly. You can hit Dark types with it too, but mainly it's Dragon types because it would otherwise wall out my Hornleech, Ivy, Cudgel, and can kind of give my team a lot of trouble outside of Charizard, which is a double-edged sword because I am Dragon type myself. So be sure to use Play Rough sparingly as it only has 90% accuracy, but against dragons it's quite nice. And finally we have Swords Dance to make this thing an absolutely insane wall breaker. Now if you really want to run Trailblaze like I did on my rock team, you can. Personally I like Hornleech because I like the longevity it brings to my team, especially paired with Screen's Rotom. And of course Swords Dance is super important because this thing's attack is honestly pretty good. Base 120 is not bad, especially considering it's 1.2 times power thanks to Hearthflame Mask. So with a Swords Dance, this thing is going to hit like ridiculously strong. It's also decently fast with base 110. I would consider this good speed tier. It ties with things like Lati, outspeeds things like Non-Choice Scarf, Infernape, or Nihilego, anything like that. So it's a very, very solid speed tier. Could be better, but still quite good. Next up we have Volcarona. So if you want to run Volcarona, you absolutely can because you're going to have screen support Rotom. Because you have screen support, I personally like offensive Volcarona. It also allows the thing to be a fantastic late game sweeper. With max special attack, max speed, and a modest nature, this thing is very strong and only gets even stronger with Quiver Dance. Now I'm not going to spend too long talking about Volcarona. If you played any competitive Pokemon or you've watched any of my videos before, you know what Volcarona does. It has heavy duty boots to ignore Sticky Web and Stealth Rock most importantly. Spikes and Toxic Spikes are a nice benefit too, but Stealth Rock and Sticky Web are the main two you want to be avoiding. Flame Body is there to try and spread burns to your opponent, especially because you have Moltres and Volcarona both with Flame Body, so it can be nice to try and spread burns to make my team more defensive overall. Fiery Dance I think is way better than Flamethrower. Or Fire Blast is too unreliable, and while Flamethrower is that small bit more powerful, Fiery Dance has a 50% chance to increase my special attack a stage, which basically makes this thing a snowball in Nightmare, so after one boost, chances are nothing is going to live this thing unless they are immune. Next up you have Psychic, and that is mainly there for poison types and mainly Toxapex, and to some extent Mega Venusaur as well. They can give your team quite a bit of trouble, so it's important to have Psychic there. Can be quite good for Komodo as well because it does resist Fiery Dance and Giga Drain and other fighting types, but yeah, Pex and Komodo are kind of the two big reasons I want to have Psychic on my Volcarona. And finally we have Giga Drain for water types, rock types, and ground types. Grass is quite a nice offensive move to have on a fire type. Now typically you can run Solar Beam, but you might have already seen this as a non-sun team. I think Sun got slightly nerfed this generation with it boosting photosynthesis users, so like past Paradox Pokemon are going to make use of my Sun, and oftentimes that's very bad for me, so I decided to go with a sunless fire type right here. So Giga Drain is a nice replacement for Solar Beam. Next up we have Moltres. I'm really on the fence about Moltres. It's kind of a defensive Moltres, a defensive support Moltres with Defog, and Toxic can be quite nice. If you don't want a Toxic, you can try Flame Body as well, especially things like Fake Out users or any multi-hit users like Triple Axle, for example. They do run the constant risk of taking Flame Body Chip, which is quite good, or Flame Body Burn Chance, which is quite good because it does lower their attack by 50%. Yeah, and we also have heavy duty boots because the thing is also 4x weak to Stealth Rock, so it's very important now. It does not have to worry about Sticky Webs or Spikes, Toxic Spikes, but rocks really do destroy this thing, so make sure you have a pair of boots on you. Stat spread wise, we're max HP, max special defense with a calm nature, so it's kind of a specially defensive Moltres. You'd be surprised, the thing can take quite a good hit, especially because it does have quite a bit of HP, and you have Roost to get that HP back, so a good longevity. Mystical Fire is, I wouldn't say reliable stab, it's okay stab, but it guaranteed lowers my opponent's special attack, which is quite good, especially after some screens. For example, you can easily set up your Ogerpon or Volcarona or even Charizard and try go for game that way. And we have Defog to remove rocks because my team, of course, really hates rocks. Now, if you really want, you can run Pressure. I think Flame Body's a little better, but in testing, it's RNG, so it's kind of up to you if you want the guaranteed PP lower, if you think you can make more use of that, or you just want Flame Body and try to trigger a Flame Body proc to get some burns across the opposing team. Next up you have Rotom. It's going to be again a support Rotom, and it's max HP, max speed, so this thing's HP sucks, but it does have some pretty decent defenses. So with max HP, it's It's okay, decently bulky, especially after screens. You can live a surprising amount of hits. It does have Levitate, which is quite good, so it's another immunity to ground type on the team. So we're actually not that weak to ground. We have one ground weakness here and one ground weakness here before Mega Evolving immune, 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 neutral, neutral. So ground is actually a very doable matchup, especially if you play around your Infernape. So Light Screen and Reflect are fantastic team support, typically because my team is quite offensive. I can set up Ogerpon, Volcarona or Charizard, and I can go for game behind some screens, which is very, very nice. We have Volt Switch to try and keep momentum, so I can get my screens up. Maybe they want to swap into something, I can Volt Switch on that turn and then try set up on the same turn as well, or set the turn after the turn they swap, which is quite good for me to keep momentum. It's also nice to hit water types and flying types, which is they can be pretty annoying. Flying's a pretty tough matchup. It's a very good type at the moment in the tiers, so it's nice to have that. And next up we have Overheat. Because I have no special attack investment, Overheat's kind of the strongest. You can hit something with 130 base stab. It hits pretty strong. Now you can run things like Discharge if you want, but you're going to be completely walled up by ground types. You can run like Hidden Power Ice if you're particularly scared of things like Garchomp, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Pain Split's okay if you want some kind of longevity. If you want to force up Sunny Day, you can do Sunny Day here. You can run Toxic and free up that spot on Moltres. There's a few things you can do instead of Overheat if you want. I just personally like the ability to actually hit things powerfully if I have to. And finally, last but not least, we have Mega Charizard X, and Charizard X is there because I like screens on this team. We already have a decent special attack setupper in Volcarona, so this team is a bit more physical with Ogerpon and Charizard and Infernape, but there's a few decent special attacking hitters here too, so you also can't be burned on Fire type, which is quite good, so you don't have to worry about burn spreading and lowering your attack that way. Charizard is, needless to say, extremely strong. With Tough Claws, it boosts all its its moves that make contact by 1.3 times power, so that is Dragon Claw and Flare Blitz both make contact, so they are 1.3 times stronger, and they are stab as well, so these things hit extremely hard. We also have Earthquake there for things like Heatran, which can otherwise kind of wall you out. Now again, you can run another contact move if you want, something like Crunch maybe, or Power Up Punch if you really want to go on that line. Now personally, I don't think they're that good. Thunder Punch is okay for water types, catch them off guard as well. There's a few things. Quick Attack, I've seen actually that using ladder before. After a couple of Dragon Dances, it's surprisingly strong, and it actually beat me because it out-prioritized my Sucker Punches, so very, very niche. Personally wouldn't recommend it, but it's there if you really want to go down that line. So yeah, personally I like Earthquake. I think it's a very reliable move. And stat-wise, we have max attack, max speed with the Jolly Nature, so this thing is already very strong, 130 base, boosted further by Tough Claws, and after Dragon Dance it becomes extremely strong. It's decently fast as well, could be a bit faster, which is why we have Dragon Dance to increase its speed, so typically after 1 or 2 Dragon Dances, there is absolutely nothing that's going to be surviving Mega Charizard's X attack, so yeah, it's super, super strong. So with that out of the way, let me know what you're most looking forward to in the DLC fire-wise. Personally, I think Ogerpon was a fantastic addition. Switching Weird Fernape was cool too, but Ogerpon being Grass Fire, I think it's a great design as well. Probably one of my favorite legendaries to come out in recent years, so I was very excited to see that get a fire form in the DLC. So let's jump into some. Alright, so our first game is against Mono Grass, which hopefully we can win with relative ease. We don't have to worry about thick, fat Venusaur on Ogerpon because it does have Mold Breaker, which is really, really fantastic. Now that said, Torterra could, I suppose, be a bit of an issue. If I let it set up, that could potentially be problematic for me. So what I'm going to do here is open up with my Rotom. I'm actually just going to click Overheat immediately. I don't want to set up Reflect because then I get them to turn to Shell Smash, and that's just not good for me. I guess you can get up Rocks here, but I'm going to get up my Light Screen and Reflect, and then I think I Volt Switch into Moltres to defog this away. I'm just kind of threatened with Mystical Fire as well. Okay. I'm not sure what you can do against my team. Encore. Interesting. Interesting. I kind of want to defog, but I also... Yeah, I want to defog actually, I guess. Oh, Brick Break. Crit there kind of sucks. It just does a small bit more damage than it needs to, and they end up forfeiting pretty soon afterwards. I'm not surprised. With no Rocks down and Ogerpon, I mean, this thing can do a lot against their team, so... Alright, we have a game against Mono Electric, and this matchup is, I would argue, extremely volatile. I think in general it favors Electric, especially if they have Regieleki, which they don't have, so that's pretty good for me. I'm going to try open up a Rotom here and just get my Light Screen down ASAP, because I do not appreciate Raichu all the same. That's strong. That's Specs. I feel like 30% is specs, because this is a bulky Rotom too. You could be Defog, you could be Toxic. I don't particularly want this to get Toxic, but I also don't think I have necessarily an option. Okay, the Hurricane. It does nothing, and we're going to go ahead and try and Toxic you here. If I can put you on a timer, that is excellent for me. I'm going to Mystical Fire once. Okay, I'm going to have to Roost here. Worst case, this thing gets paralyzed here. Yeah, it's not the end of the world for me. Not ideal. Oh. Ah. Really? Oh, good. That's really bad luck, though. Okay, I don't want to make contact with this thing because I don't want Ogerpon to be static. I know it has Mold Breaker, but does that work for static and Flame Body and stuff? I'm actually not too sure. I need to look that up. It's okay because Ivy Cudgel doesn't make contact. So I can easily click that here. I mean, getting rid of Zapdos is pretty good. Coco comes in. I think you might be Specs. I don't... actually, no. Nape is really good with Earthquake. I think everything in my team's good here. I'm going to go Rotom because I should live one. It's quite strong, though. Raichu, in theory, is an issue. I'll try Light Screen. Yeah, they Surf. That's bad for me. Okay, I think I have to Ogerpon here. Ivy Cudgel KOs. Unless there's Sash. I resist Surf. Or I'm neutral to Surf. I resist its Stab. Or Electric, so it has Psychic. Psyshock, maybe. I don't think it KOs. We'll find out. It's bad for me, actually. I don't think crit mattered at all. It is kind of funny just how bad luck I've been having, like para, crit. It's insanely bad luck, but I don't think that crit mattered. Okay, they go into Iron Hands. They're probably going to do a ton of damage to me. I mean... I don't think I live CC. I'll play rough here. It doesn't KO, just shy. I'll live Earthquake. And I can Horn Leech a good chunk of HP back. Do I live? I mean, Rotom took quite a decent chunk, and I think I just live Volt Switch. I'm gonna Horn Leech here. Nice. Pretty decent. Now, unfortunately, I go down here. I can go into Volcarona and please do not fully paralyze me. I mean, given my luck this game, it's probably going to fully paralyze here. If not, I'm in a great position to win. Okay. I'm not too scared of this. I think Fiery Dance KOs. That does so little. And this isn't even Volcarona. This is like standard offensive Volcarona. I'm going to Giga Drain you. Short of a crit here, this should be game. Because I outspeed Coco, KOs. I outspeed Manectric. Now, I don't think I KO Manectric, but I don't think Manectric KOs me either. Gonna go ahead and Giga Drain you. Just get some more HP back. So now I'm pretty sure I live one, if not two hits from Manectric. And Fiery Dance actually, I think 2 hit KOs anyway. Oh, it OHKOs. Didn't think we'd do that much damage, but there you go. So pretty bad luck, but we managed to pull through in the end. Ogerpon definitely a hard carry in a lot of games I feel recently, when I've been testing this team. Alright, here we are against Mono Water. This is going to be a really, really tough matchup, but one I was hoping to run into, just because I want to see how this team fares against it. They have a lot of threats. Samurott, huge, huge threat to my team. I think I want to open up with Infernape, actually. They open up with Rotom, not great for me. I can close combat, it's not going to KO. I'll go into Ogerpon, they won't KO me there. I need to save my Zard so I can Mega Evolve it. The Donzo's a huge threat. I guess Moltres is kind of useless in this game, so we can sack it to a pump. Now, there is a world where I actually outspeed this and Toxic. Yeah, unlikely. I guess we can go Ogerpon here and Swords Dance. Now, they might be Liquid Ooze, but I'm actually not sure how it's going to interact with my Mold Breaker because I feel like Hornleech should ignore. Ha ha ha. I actually ignore you too. I ignore Unaware. No. So that's really good for me. Now if their choice Scarf Samurott... Actually, I think Sash Samurott is probably worse for me. If your Sash Samurott is worse. Which I would wager it is. It's interesting they're Rainless Kingdra. Yeah, they're Sash. I guess... Oh wait, do I outspeed their team? I live. No, they have to have a Scarf user, right? Your Scarf Rotom? Yeah, your Scarf Rotom. That's bad for me. I'm gonna try get a light screen up here. Oof. They're strong. Okay, I can outspeed with Zard. And I live one. If I go Dragon type. That's so strong for Scarf. Does this actually KO? Okay, it does. Nice. Jealous Scent comes in. I Claw again. It probably KOs. No, just shy. And they Strength Sap. Great play. Huh. This could be bad for me, actually. Can they just Strength Sap forever? They Hex. Come on, high roll. High roll. No. Just short. If they are... If they're like Dragon Dance Kingdra, I think that's how I lose. Actually, in this position, Earthquake might win. I just click Psychic. Rain Dance. Yeah, I'm gonna lose. Manual Rain's crazy. Maybe they can miss Hydro Pump for once in the entire game. Miss one Hydro Pump. Just one. No. Hurricane. Makes sense. Great play. Very tough matchup. I think we did pretty well. It's unfortunate that they just didn't miss Hydro Pump at all. They hit a lot, all things considered. 1, 2... Like 4 or 5 Hydro Pumps. Well played though. Okay, maybe I can redeem myself here against Mono Ice. Now they probably open up with Ninetales, and I guess that's okay. I think I want to save Switcheroo for something against like Cloyster maybe, or even just Muscle through a close combat. I'm going to open up in Moltres actually, because I can defog potentially their screens. I can Toxic Baxcalibur if it comes in, because Baxcalibur is honestly a threat to my team. Okay, they actually open up with Cloyster. This could be bad for me. I'm gonna Mystical Fire you, just... okay. I think they outspeed my Infernape actually. Now they're Rock Blast, right? And you are... potentially faster than me? Potentially faster. Do I save this? No, I don't think I do. Wow. What luck. At least luck has been my side this live, because skill certainly has not. Now they very possibly go Baxcalibur here. I think that makes sense. If they do, I can potentially Toxic and kind of stall around the place. Okay, let's hit the timer here. They go Arctozolt, you are Boltbeak, right? I can go Rotom. I think Rotom kind of gets a free Reflect up here. Reflect really opens up Volcarona to win the game. Oh, strong. Looks banded to me. Either way, the next one's going to do like what, a quarter of this. Okay, they go backs. Let's Volt Switch here into, I think, Infernape. They should DD here. Oh, they Swords Dance. Interesting. That's actually kind of good for me because now Ogerpon outspeeds. You know what? I'm going to throw this entire game and style in them with Switcheroo. No, it's such a throw. I'll close combat. I really want to do, but it's such a throw. When I can literally just click KO button. Sometimes the intrusive thoughts get the better of me, like, oh, if I trick this, then I can set up my Volcarona and go for game, or I can just click close combat and go for game that way. Either way, Moltres here. He's pretty free. They try Encore me. That's fine. I'm actually going to Toxic you. Because they can try Encore me here. I don't necessarily mind Toxicing something else that comes in. Yeah, that's honestly fine. They can go into Zolt here. They get Toxicked. Do I go into Rotom? They only have one Snow turn left, so I guess I sack Moltres. Did I take in my Rotom and get Reflect up again? It should win me the game. Ninetales is on a timer, so is this. And as long as I keep my Rotom healthy, I'm really not worried about Arctozolt. Do we Volt Switch? The problem with Volt Switching is something does take a lot, so I'm going to get my Light Screen instead. You probably want to Encore. Let's go Ogerpon. Actually, I can Volt Switch into Hard Ogerpon. Because if they Encore here... Okay, great. If they Encore, it's fine, because then I swap the next turn and their Light Screen, or their Aurora Veil, goes away. So it's kind of a win-win situation for me. I'm pretty sure this lives close combat because it's behind screen and Snow buff. By that logic, it also lives Ivy Cudgel, so let's go Volcarona here. I'm just going to Fiery Dance. This thing in theory is a threat. Could be like sub Belly Drum, you never know. I've seen crazier sets happen, so... And I don't think there's anything they can click. Flare Blitz won't do too much. Icicle Crash, nope. Earthquake? I guess Rotom is immune then. Wow, that was surprisingly strong. Now I don't outspeed Arctozolt here, but again, it's fine. They only have one Snow turn left. If you want to waste it killing my Volcarona, fine by me. Actually, I get Ogerpon. Click Ivy Cudgel. Should be game. Pretty sure this is game. Zolt is on a timer. Rotom takes very little. Soul Megazard and Infernape actually outspeed anyway, so yeah, that's game. Depending on what kind of crazy Articuno set this is. You know what? This doesn't even KO. This does like, I'd say 47%. Nice. Ogerpon is so good. It's just such an insanely good mon. I know this is an easy matchup. I'm not singing its praises being like, Ogerpon's the best Pokemon ever. I managed to beat Ice with Fire, but just in general, I think it's a really solid addition to most of its types. GG. Alright, we have a game against Mono Ghost, and judging by the fact they're running things like Marowak and Runa Regis and Gelmise, it's probably Trick Room Ghost, which also leads me to believe they're going to open up with Runa Regis, so I'm going to open up my Infernape here, and I'm going to go ahead and try Switcheroo you. If you want to get your Trick Room up, that's fine. You're locked into this. No, I can't Quake here. Or I can't Close Combat here. I guess I can Quake. Nice. That's solid damage, actually. And I'm Sash too, so I live this. You're probably like Poltergeist. I'll take your item. Wide lens. What? Okay. Interesting. It's fine though, because now something can revenge KO this. I feel like Flare Blitz Zard is maybe the way. Does Delmise get... is it Learn Set? Delmise Trick Room. I can't remember. It's some like way of saying like, does Delmise learn Trick Room? I don't think it does. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Fiery Dance here. Knock this out. I'm not threatened by Runa Regis. I guess you could Trick Room here. If you really wanted to. Stealth Rock? Cool. I mean, you're giving me free boosts, so sure. I outspeed... Yep, outspeed this, outspeed everything here. I guess, like, Mimikyu can get their Trick Room up for free. I'm not worried about you. +2 Fiery Dance. Okay, Sash. Destiny Bond is really cool, actually. No. If it's Stone Edge is a threat, Poltergeist, I should live. Which is nice. Okay, so I suck this. I think Zard lives. I really think Zard lives. Just about, though. Just about, that was strong. However, we can still get up my screens with Rotom, which I really like. Against Goldengo, I particularly enjoy that. Because that makes my Ogerpon really bulky. Ogerpon's actually also going to ignore Disguise, which is super good. You are Specs. So we go Ogerpon here, Ivy Cudgel should KO. We ignore your Disguise, and I think KO. You know what, that could have gone pear-shaped. That could have gone badly for me. Oh, it lived. There you go, GG. I like dual screen support with Ogerpon. I like dual screen support on fire in general. I think it's definitely my preferred method to play it. Okay, we're here against Mono Dragon again. This time, I expected to go quite poorly. I just hope I don't throw insanely hard like last time. They probably open up with Cyclizard, so I'm going to go ahead and open up with my Infernape. Because I am scared of Komodo. Very scared of Komodo. They open up Cyclizard. I'm going to close combat you immediately. Good play. Skying for Scarf there. Very good play. I'll go Moltres. Try Toxic something. It's not too strong, actually. Okay, so this is where it all goes badly. This is when they take in Komodo and win the game, right? Or even Walking Wake. Okay, they go in Komodo. I feel like I have to CC you just because I can't let you set up for free. But even then, it doesn't matter, right? They just win. I can get a light screen up. I don't think it makes a difference. Yeah, definitely not with the crit anyway. Oh, good. It happens. See, if I got my screen up there, maybe I could have DD'd with Charizard before Mega Evolving, outsped and click Dragon Claw and sweep their team. But I'm pretty sure now I just lose. I really don't see it out here. I'll Roost and the Digifog. I'm pretty certain I just lose to Walking Wake though. Like, realistically, what do I have against this? Kinda surprised I ate. I can go this. You Scarf though? You're not Specs based on the damage. Okay. Is it like Sunny Day? Is it Manual Sun? If I can outspeed this and click Play Rough here, that would be quite ideal. Okay. Great. Just fantastic for me. Come on, outspeed. Nice. I feel like Cyclizard just wins in the game though. I'm so scared of Cyclizard. Did they just KO me here? Yeah, they do. Outrage. I guess now I try set up my Zard. Obviously I don't Mega Evolve turn 1. Depends realistically. Do I outspeed or do I KO? It's Scarf! Okay, I did not expect that. I mean, the confusion would have been very nice for me there, but again, it's just not my kind of game. GG. Alright, we have another game against Mono Water. Could this be the redemption arc that Fire is much deserving of? Personally, I don't think so. But let's try. Perscuda is a huge threat. I kind of want to open up with Infernape. I feel opening up with Infernape, people think like, oh, it could be Sash Lead. I'm gonna Thunder Punch you. Go away. I want nothing to do with you. I'll go Moltres. If we can force a burn on Liquidation or Flip Turn, I'm happy with that. Walking Away comes in. You probably just KO me. It's crazy. My luck has been crazy, crazy bad. I want a Swords Dance. I think I live one. Into Play Rough. Nice. I actually outspeed everything they have. I don't know if Horn Leech kills. Nope, not even close. Not even close. They go into this. I just lose, right? I think I just lose. Oh. That's greedy. I think that was a bit of a greedy play in my opinion. That's pretty strong. I feel like Scarf Thunder Punch just goes crazy here. I don't think it kills Feeny. Which is why I'm gonna go... I don't want to set up Calm Mind. But it's slower than my Volcarona. I think Thunder Punch into... Okay, that did 0. That did 0%. Not the end of the world. If I manage to switcheroo this, it's very good for me. Don't hit me this turn. Your greed will potentially be your undoing. Yep, there we go. This is why I love switcheroo Infernape. I think it's just a really cool tech, and I think you can really punish greed like this. I understand what they're going for. In theory, it's the right play, but switcherooing onto that, I can of course then just Thunder Punch into Pelipper and win the game. GG. Alright, here we are against a pretty interesting looking normal team. I love the fact they're using 2 cannon. Major respect. Blood Moon Ursaluna could be pretty scary for my team too, so I kind of want to open up with this and just click Close Combat immediately. Now, if there's Zora work, excellent play. Excellent bait if your Zora work. Nice. I just can't let that thing run around for free. You're Zora work. You're screaming I'm Zora work. That's fine. We can Mystical Fire. It's a Zoroark. I never would have guessed. It's in range of, I think, Thunder Punch now. Or Earthquake as well. I kind of want to keep this alive for Lopunny. The question is, what do I sack? I guess Ogerpon-'s not that useful in this game. And even in theory, I could outspeed this. Kind of don't want to sack it because, like, you know, the whole reason I'm using this team is like, oh, look how good Ogerpon is, but realistically, I have to know my limitations, and I think Ogerpon is just the weakest link here. So I know Moltres is pretty badly beaten up, but it's a free fake out roll every time Lockbody comes in. Speaking of. So if they fake out here, return Flame Body, Flame Body, Flame Body. Nope. Not a single Flame Body in the entire live. Unfortunate. Either way, we reflect here. Actually, I could have gone straight into Infernape, to be honest. Whatever. This lives. This is more of a threat than I anticipated. Because they can Vacuum Wave here. Earth Power, it doesn't even KO. That's kind of surprisingly weak. Oh, interesting. Earth Power's doing like 43, so I'll do one more of this. If they Moonlight, I SD here. I have 3 turns till my Reflect wears out and I just lose. Actually no, because Nape is really good here. Give me back all my health. Thank you. Blood Moon's pretty strong. Not strong enough. It's funny, I was just saying, like, Ogerpon's probably the weakest link and it absolutely decimated this thing. You're kind of annoying. I guess I'll just go down to this. Go into you, click close combat. No, I feel like Toucannon and Indeedee can live. But it's fine because Rotom comes in against this. Like, what can this do to me? And we reflect. I'm going to Volt Switch into, I think, actually, Infernape, no, because Toucannon's annoying. Return does a decent chunk, actually. If I go Infernape, I can Thunder Punch. No, because it's the same power. 120 stab is 180, and that's 90 by 2. Exact same power. I guess Zard. I just set up for game here. The only way I'm threatened, I think, is if it's like Sash and DD. Sash and DD could be scary. You don't live a Flare Blitz. You live a Flare Blitz? What? That's insane. That's like that cereal meme. He will never live a Flare Blitz, and then he lives, like, spits out cereal. That's crazy. I really did not think it was that bulky. I mean, I love Toucannon. It's like one of my favorite birds. I think it's just such a silly Pokemon to use. Yeah, you're not Sash. Cool. So, Infernape wins. GG. Cool team. Honestly, Ursalina Blood Moon, big threat.